All right, hey guys, I'm here with Philip Telfer, the director of the Christian Worldview Film Festival, as well as a couple other ministries, Media Talk 101. He's a pastor, great guy, he wears a lot of hats. Philip, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on your show, Zach.
Of course, thanks for being here. Now, where are you calling from today? What state?
Spring Branch, Texas.
Nice. Spring Branch, Texas. That's fun. And how has lockdown's kind of back and forth in some places, but how's your overall year lockdown been?
Well, like many people, it has been a wild ride of just change. And I think the biggest thing for me as a pastor was, just retooling church, meeting virtually and using tools like Zoom. And we're meeting in person again, which is great, but also still producing an online service, which we didn't do before. So that was the biggest change for me, was just having to gear up to do weekly services online as well as in person.
Yeah. Well, you have a good little setup there now. Good
Yeah, thank
studio. You. Nice backlighting.
Yes.
Yeah, so tell me a little bit about the festival. You guys have postponed it once or twice, and now it's back on, right?
Yeah, that's right. We were set to go just a few days before the national lockdown. I mean, we had people that were en route to the festival. Actually, a couple guys coming down from Alaska were in the air, and by the time they landed, then they heard the news that it had been canceled. That's how close we were to actually having the festival. And of course, everything. And so that's March, middle of March, when everything's just blowing up. So yeah, that was very disappointing, but understandable. And our goal was to, if at all possible, reschedule the event. That has not been easy to do because things in the country are still up in the air. We thought certainly by August, everything would be settled down. But thankfully, unless the status quo changes, we're all set to go for August 10th through 14th at a new venue. It's a church in Hendersonville, Tennessee, very large. And what's going to work for us is that it's a large enough venue that with the size of our group, we'll still have social distancing, guidelines, but we would rather
very safe.
Yeah, we'd rather do the social distancing. If we have to wear masks, that's still an if. But no matter what, we'd rather gather and just work with what we have to work with. So there's nothing keeping us from having this gathering at the church, and so we're glad to do it. And I'll give you a heads up. So, I mean, the mask orders are kind of state by state, county by county, and some of them are more distinct, some of them are nebulous. So we're going to stay on top of what is actually required. But we went ahead and we've got some nice branded face masks we'll have available for those attending, so we can all be kind of unified if we end up all having to wear them. So
looking fly at the same time.
Yeah. It's actually, the masks have a special message on them also, and I'll let you get to hear it here first.
Yes.
So it's actually it's a quote from Stephen Kendrick. It's been kind of his theme quote during COVID, which is, be careful, be prayerful, but not fearful. And I think that defines it very well.
That's really good. Yeah, and he's going to be there, right?
Yes, he is.
Nice. That's awesome. So he'll be wearing his own quote on his face.
That's right.
That's awesome. Well, I'm excited. I hope I can make it, actually. I wasn't going to be able to make it in March, so it's actually might work out better for me.
Great. I hope to see you there.
That'd be great. And then, tell me about one of your other hats, Media Talk 101. There's less media being produced this year, so.
Yeah, so Media Talk 101, I founded that nonprofit organization in 2005. And it was originally, I was traveling the country speaking to youth groups and churches and parents, just about understanding the importance for discernment when it comes to what you watch, what you listen to, what kind of video games you play, that type of thing. It was it's a focus on media consumption from a biblical worldview and the need to be informed of how to guard our hearts and our minds. And because not everything that's being produced is good. So it's out of that organization that we started the film festival, because it wasn't just about guarding our hearts. we were all for the production of godly media, things that are going to be beneficial to others, not only to Christians, but to the world. So so the two, they kind of dovetail together, Media Talk
Yeah.
101 and the Christian Worldview Film Festival. So it's kind of two sides of one coin, being careful of what
Right.
you watch and listen to, and then also being mindful of what we produce as Christians.
Yeah, both consuming and also just viewing and creating as well. I love that.
Yes, that's right.
That's great. Okay, and I ask guests as they come on if they have any special skills or hobbies they'd like to share. A couple different guests. We made coffee before, made some TikToks, different activities, but you do BMX freestyling, and I had no idea until like 15 minutes ago that you do this.
Yeah, I couldn't really do it right here in my office. That would be a challenge. It takes a little bit more space. So yeah, when you
That's
asked it, I'm like, I can't really demonstrate it. But yeah, when I was in high school, it started out when I think I was a freshman in high school. I had, at the time, growing in popularity were mountain bikes, and I'd bought a mountain bike, but I wasn't content just to ride it, off-road. I don't know. I just wanted to do tricks. So, wheelies. And then I was trying a surfer, which is like standing on the handlebars and standing on the seat. I don't know why I had this in me, but the bike was not equipped to do something like that. I fell, ended up in the hospital.
No way. And you kept doing it.
But a week later, I was watching some television show, and they had just a little snippet of some guys doing freestyle BMX on special bikes. I didn't even know it was a sport. And I'm like, I've got to, and then maybe a month after that, I discovered a guy in our small town that was just starting out in this sport. We became buddies, and I went out and bought a bike and started. And so eventually I got to the point when by the time I was a junior and senior in high school, I was part of a team, a skateboard and bike team sponsored by a local bike shop. And we did shows. And that's actually how I got my start in ministry. I moved to inner city Chicago at the age of 17. And I didn't really have any skills to offer other than freestyle BMX. So I helped out with outreaches and did shows for, inner city urban camps and things like that. So
wow,
yeah.
So there's spiritual significance to your BMX freestyling. That's awesome. Looking forward to the festival. You got a lot going. You're a busy man, so thank you for making time for this today.
Oh, no problem.
You're the best. Hopefully I'll see you at the festival.
Yeah, I hope to see you.
Awesome. Thanks so much.
Okay. God bless.
Bye.